So just the simple answer is the issue of being paid what you're worth versus the pain of feeling that you're not being paid what you're worth.
That is
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
Yes. Now, I have a bias on this issue. So I'm going to tell you my bias, and then I wish I could promise, oh, yes, I'm going to get you more money. But it's the opposite, is that I'm on the receiving end of all of these people marketing the promise that they will teach you how to get more money. And everyone probably has heard that advertising is based on this simple premise is create a need and fill it. So they are creating in you the fear that you're being underpaid and you're being paid less than someone else. And once they've convinced you that you're being paid less than someone else, now you're constantly feeling bad and you're carrying that weight of that bad. And I totally understand because I did that too. But then I realized, like, I'm getting all these messages from consultants who are suggesting to you that you are being underpaid so that you feel bad and you hire them. And the bottom line, the truth, I think, is it's a very difficult decision, just like how does Bill Gates spend his time? How do I price my time? I can charge more, and then I will lose some people, or I will charge less, and I might get more people. Now, I know many people have this illusion, well, when you charge more, you get more people because they think it's worth more. I know that theory, I've heard it, and I haven't done that. I don't know, maybe somebody's done it. So first, I should also admit that my bias is I've never been good at money. I've never been good at seeking money. I've always been good at living within my means and not having money problems. Just getting in all the money I need and then not having to worry about it. But what I've run into is people whose ego and pride, which again is the healthy value of ego and pride, but their brain is focused on, I got $200 an hour. I got $500 an hour. I got $1,000 an hour. And they may not do much business, or they may get bad business in the sense that they have clients who are miserable and have conflict with them and sue them. But because they got $1,000 an hour once, then in their mind, that's how they define status. So in my opinion, it's how do you define status? And the way I define status is I fill my day with things I enjoy. And I may have more success at that than Bill Gates, I don't know. So Carlos, my wish for you is, if you want to fill your day with things you enjoy, then you may already be a great success at that.
Right. Yeah. And as you mentioned, I just grow up the ladder of the corporate world. I just got to be the director of quality of a big pharma company. Then it was a different approach to getting money and to getting paid. Now that you're a consulting business with a different approach to selling yourself and so it's separating the feeling of being worth and your business value, right? So I think that is completely what I need to start working on. And I think it's a universal topic because I have some other friends that are in the same position as myself. And they say, Carlos, I don't know how to do it. I just miss some projects, and it's a bias we have in our mind.
They missed some projects because they charged the wrong price?
Right, because they are charging less. So what is happening is they are charging less, and they are say they want to charge more, but of course it is going to depend on the project, but it is not believing that their own worth, right?
Well, I don't know, because that's what consultants tell you, that if you believe in your own worth, then you can charge huge amounts. Okay, I should explain the rest of the story. Um, I was a college professor for 25 years, and then I took early retirement. And my husband was working, and so I didn't need to write for money. And so I was only going to write about what I believed in and not just try to do what sells. And then I would get, but I was not selling a lot. So then I would get consultants. Like, I get so many messages from marketing people who want to help me sell more. And you may know that when you sell a book, you only get $1 or less for each book you sell. So all these people who think you get rich from writing books, like they're in dreamland. So all of these consultants try to persuade me to have a training program where I would charge $5,000. That the goal of having a book is so that you could have a training program that charges $5,000. And I said, why would I want to do that? And because it's like, it's not one of my present desires. So what, I'm just asking, why would I want to do that? And you know what the reason? That's so that I could pay for their consulting, literally. So unless that's something that's meaningful to you,
Yeah.
the amount, but I still don't, I'm not sure if I understood, are you saying that your colleagues really believe that they lost business because their price was too low?
No, it's a common struggle is that
Yes.
we are just mixing the self value with our business value.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So here's another thing about business value that is very surprising to me. Another thing that people feel like success, it's not just how much you make, but how busy you are, like if you get a lot of client engagements, right?
Right.
And I think that's good also, because what I always say is legacy is what matters, that there's the special Carlos perspective. And the more seeds you plant of the Carlos perspective in more people, then word of mouth will spread and you'll get more business in the future. But it may not be until 10 years from now. And then the interesting thing is,
Right.
in 10 years, you may be very popular, and then in 15 years, you may lose all your popularity because things are so trendy.
Yeah.
So enjoying what you're doing counts a lot. And I'll give you a funny example, just a visual example of that. I had little postcards about my book printed, and whenever I was near a bulletin board, I would stop and put them on the bulletin board. It was a way to feel like I was doing something. And I don't know if they took them down from the bulletin board and put them in the garbage, because usually these bulletin boards have strict rules, and I may have been violating the rules. So if I was with my husband, I would say, can we please stop for a minute? I want to put something on the bulletin board. And my husband, he would stop and he'd be not. And then he'd say, well, I hope that does something. And I would get so mad at him, because it's mostly he wants the quantified, measurable return to his effort. So instead, I called it planting seeds. So when I would see a bulletin board, I would say, can we please stop? I want to plant a seed. And his family is actually in farming, so he understands about planting seeds. So, so that's just a more positive way of looking at it. And I always tell him, I never know which seed will sprout, so I want to plant as many seeds as possible.
That's very nice.
Yes, and another thing, when I hear from all these marketing people, I'm always looking to learn from them. And so when people have found my work, and I always ask people, how did you find my work? And everyone says that they did an internet search, which means that 0 people found me from advertising. So I think the other thing, when advertising people when marketing people tell you that you're not earning enough, coaches, they say, you know, you're not being paid what you're worth. How can you fight to be paid what you're worth? They're all saying the same thing. And then next year, you get more of these messages, and they're different, but they're all saying the same thing. So in a way, they're just all marketing the same advice.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit frustrating to me. To learn more about your happy chemicals and help others find this valuable information, click the thumbs up and subscribe to the Inner Mammal Institute channel. To get a free 5-day Happy Chemical Jumpstart Guide, opt in at the Inner Mammal Institute website, innermammalinstitute.org. Thanks.